That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime is one of the most popular isekai anime out there, often finding itself in conversation for the best isekai anime. And with all that fame and notoriety comes video game publishers looking to make a quick buck. Enter Bandai Namco with That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Isekai Chronicles, a 2D brawler released in 2024 to pretty mixed reviews. It falls into the usual traps of anime game adaptations, but it's still worth a try for fans of Tensura. Let's take a closer look into That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Isekai Chronicles. I will try not to use the full title for the rest of this video. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Isekai Chronicles was first revealed on April 25th, 2024. It will be published by our good friend Bandai Namco and developed by Monkey Craft. No, it's not related to the Minecraft mod pack. And ZOC, both of whom have worked on other anime games in the past, such as a number of Sword Art Online games. The initial reveal trailer here marketed the game as an action RPG, highlighting its action-packed battles, exciting city building, and story. You can tell by my expression that these talking points aren't very accurate. Well, I guess story technically is. Leading up to the game's release, fans were enticed by the promises made by Bandai Namco. The gameplay looked reminiscent of the Tales series, the village building mechanic fit the original source material, and the promise of new plotlines either cut from the anime or just completely original is always a welcome addition to anime game adaptations. And by the way I'm talking, you can probably tell that this game didn't live up to expectations. Isekai Chronicles launched on August 7th, 2024 on PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam. I know, this wasn't a next-gen console exclusive. Shocking. It received generally mixed reviews, currently sitting at a 63 critic score and a 7.4 user score on Metacritic. In terms of sales numbers, it did debut at the top of the Nintendo Switch sales charts in Japan with 17,271 copies sold in its launch week. But now, 2 years later, it's been largely forgotten, and for good reason. This game is incredibly lackluster. Bandai didn't deliver well on any of their promises, resulting in a bare-bones, repetitive experience. This is The Time I Got Reincarnated as a bad video game adaptation. No, I didn't actually, that's just a play on the title. You get the joke. Isekai Chronicles is described as an action RPG, which I suppose is technically accurate. It has action elements, and it has RPG elements, but I wouldn't really call this an action RPG. It's like if you smeared a little tomato sauce and sprinkled a little mozzarella on a piece of cardboard. Sure, it's got the elements of a pizza, but we wouldn't call a plain, unbaked piece of cardboard a pizza. Isekai Chronicles is a plain, unbaked piece of cardboard. I'd classify it more as a beat-em-up or a brawler that happens to have RPG elements. I've seen talk online that the gameplay is similar to the old Tales games, such as Tales of Destiny 2. While personally I don't have experience with the series, I do have eyes, and I can confirm that these look pretty similar when put side by side. Isekai Chronicles is a very basic 2D brawler. Quests see you exploring a simple 2D area, fighting enemies, and occasionally opening chests. Where the fun is supposed to come in is with the decently sized character roster and unlockable moves. You can switch between characters mid-combat and perform a number of special moves to try and string together combos. These don't feel good at all, and combat in general just does not feel good. So much stuff is just on screen at once, you have 3 of your characters plus even more enemies, and attacks and effects are just plastering your screen like it's trying to distract you from the fact that this is just an incredibly generic, bare bones, side-scrolling brawler. It gets very repetitive, very quickly, and none of the other elements are engaging enough to keep you interested. Sure, there are skill trees for each character, but no strategy or thought is really necessary. Just upgrade whatever you want and then button mash. It's simple enough. The presentation for these segments don't make things any better either. It opts for a chibi art style that comes across as less fun, artistic, stylistic choice, and more cost-cutting, money-saving choice. I don't like to say that games look like mobile games, when most of the time they don't, but this time it really does just look like a mobile game. The special moves are so funny too, because for some of the characters it just plays a low-resolution clip from the anime, and for others it's just a random PNG. I can't decide which I like better. The other large gameplay mechanic that Bandai was hyping up was the city builder. Many went in with the expectations that this was going to be akin to something like SimCity. It's not, like, at all. All the city building boils down to is choosing which generic looking building goes where, and the only effect of these buildings is that they can provide a temporary stat boost in combat. That's it. The city does serve as your hub world, allowing you to freely explore it, talk to citizens to get side quests, but most of this hub world just boils down to walking from one character to another with nothing interesting going on. But what about story? That's kind of all this game has going for it. The story includes season 1 and 2 of the anime, with a number of additional scenes to further flesh out the story for existing fans of the source material. There's also even original storylines with new characters. It was clearly designed with fans in mind, but that doesn't mean it's presented very well. It uses a mix of 3D cutscenes, anime screenshots, and animated portraits. It's nice to get new story content for sure, and it helps to keep things interesting even for fans who've already seen the anime, but at a certain point, this ends up feeling more like a visual novel than a game. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but if you were expecting an action-packed RPG with interesting city-building mechanics like the marketing would lead you to believe, then Isekai Chronicles is not that. Isekai Chronicles is mainly reading text boxes with the occasional combat scenario or fetch quest here and there. And again, games like that do have their place. A low-budget anime game adaptation focused on story for fans of the source material is a-okay. The problem is how they monetize these games. From what I've gone over, this probably feels like a $20 game, right? This is a $50 game. Props for it not being $60, I guess, but seriously $50? And that's not even mentioning the fact that this also has paid DLC. There are 3 DLC packs, each with a new character, new quests, and new building types, coming in at $7 a pop for $21 in total. Or you can save $1 and buy the season pass for $20. Too generous. So if you want all the content for Isekai Chronicles, then it'll cost $70. What are we doing here, man? I would be much more open to DLC if the base game was, say, more around $20. As it is, I'm already paying $50 for this, and now I gotta pay $20 more for more of this? It sucks even more when you see a similarly scaled game from another publisher like Fairy Tail Dungeons retailing for the fair price of $14. Why can't Bandai games do the same? This game isn't one of the worst things in the world, it's just, like so many other anime games, a bad value. I don't understand why Bandai Namco is allergic to pricing things fairly for the consumer. I bought Isekai Chronicles on sale for $15, and if I were a big "that time I got reincarnated as a slime" fan, I think I would have gotten my money's worth. But for its retail price of $50, yeah, no thanks. All this talk of "that time I got reincarnated as a slime" has got me wondering, what other isekai would benefit from a video game adaptation? Reborn as a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon? As a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world? I was reincarnated as a poor farmer in a different world, so I decided to make bricks to build a castle? I don't know, I'm just spitballing here.